So pretty much, okay, perfect. I relied way too much on my talent, and that was kind of an issue throughout my career where I hated the process of training, but I enjoyed the winning. It was always up and down. One of the best rides I've ever had, which is one of my biggest regrets. I did the World Championships in Qatar. I could have been riding my bike now, maybe, if I'd have got that podium spot. At that point in time, when I did stop, I didn't enjoy riding my bike that much. COVID was that year, and I just got fat. Just didn't enjoy going out on my bike. First ever moment I got on a bike, I got a bike when I was 2 years old, and when you're that age, I never remembered anything about it, but I do remember that I loved doing it. And then at age 5, I got my first race bike. Got that, started getting into it a little bit. It was almost a modern day gravel bike. It had knobbly tyres on, red knobbly tyres. And then at age 5, I got a blue race bike, which was from Edison. So a guy in, I think, near Sheffield, he built them. And my dad used to ride time trials, and the front wheel that was in there was for time trialing. So it had really bladed spokes, like really thick ones, and I loved it. So that's when I started getting into road riding. I met Ben Swift then at a little local training thing for kids, I guess, for road bikes and just having fun. Met him there when I was 5, and then it slowly just progressed and progressed and progressed. The older I got, the more serious it got, the more fun I had, the better I realised I could be. So when I was 17, I joined the British Cycling Academy. 3 months later, I left the British Cycling Academy, went over to Belgium, lived there. For me, it was, okay, I want to be professional. This is what I'm going to do. And really chucked myself in quite deep into that life and really ambitious of wanting to do it. 2 years later, did that. And then I turned professional for Lotto Soudal. I had Philippe Gilbert on the team, Greg Van Avermaet on the team. It was a fantastic group of guys, but it was the most Belgium team you could ever imagine, which I learned a heck of a lot from very quickly. So in that first year, did Flanders-Roubaix, Gent-Wevelgem, all the big classics. And I was shocked. I was just like, this is hard, but it's not unachievable to be the best in this sport. I went into a race called Franco-Belge, just thinking, let's see what happens, you know, and I had Jurgen van der Broek on the team, who had come 4th in the Tour the year before. He was riding for us then, and he said, come on, we'll try and lead you out. So he led me out on the first stage. Somehow I won, and I was like, Jesus, right, this is brilliant. The next day, I got second to Guarnieri. He beat me that day. He took the leader's jersey. Then the next day, I won again. And then it was into the final. It was only 4 days. Into the final day, it was around a hilly course in Belgium. Not a hilly, but there was just like 2K hill, and then down to finish. I'm not a great climber. And behind me on the GC then was Jakob Volkslang and Sepp van Marker. So they were second and third. And they knew I wasn't great at climbing. So all they tried to do was rip my legs off. So on this final day, got up the climb for the last time, and just at the top, I had a puncture. And I was like, that's it, game over. And I had a director called Dirk de Wolf. They were car one, changed my wheels straight away. And then not just one person, but the whole team just went, stopped, got me back on, eventually got there. And I think I got third on the end of that stage as well. So I got the overall. And then 2 weeks later, I won again, miraculously. I don't know how, but yeah, all the World Tour teams were there and just managed to win a bunch sprint. So it's pretty good. The next year then, I relied way too much on my talent, and that was kind of an issue throughout my career where I hated the process of training, but I enjoyed the winning. So it was always up and down. But I'd definitely say my highlight was probably winning Ride London in 2014. I was in NFTO, so I dropped down to a British team, which when you look at it, you think you've dropped down a lot of levels, and then you get to ride with the World Tour boys again, where I felt like I belonged and I was able to win. But a lot of people never really come back from that. Once you drop down, that's it. Had a great race, got another contract from that. 2 years later, I won British Nationals, which was, I'm not going to say my best race I've won, but it was the most prestigious sort of race I'd won. So I think from there, I'd sort of not achieved what I wanted to achieve, but I felt quite happy with where my career was at. One of the best rides I've ever had, which is one of my biggest regrets. I did the World Championships in Qatar in 2016. I was good in the wind, no doubt about it. You ask any British professional, any professional, they knew I was good in the wind. Tiny engine, but knew where to put myself consistently. So we went to the Worlds and Cav was there. We had 2 corners in that race. If you get into that corner first, you've got 2K of crosswind, and then you've got 100K of cross tailwind down to the finish, then it's circuits. If you're not at the front of the first corner, race is over. I knew I'm fine. I know what I have to do. I know I'll be there. No question marks. got into this first corner, front group, starting to split, got into the second corner, group had split. And at that point then, we had 100k of cross tailwind to the finish, and it was, you name them, every classics rider that is got a name for himself, they're in there. De Boonen, Van Avermaet, Gilbert, Cancellara, they were just, everyone was in this front group. It was like the who's who of cycling. Cav, obviously, Sagan. We were riding, it was hard. The average was like 56k an hour average for the whole race. But I did barely touch the pedals. It was just like dancing, like Belgium saying, diamonds in the legs. And I had diamonds in my legs that day. It's kind of a difficult thing to say, really. It's one of my regrets where I'd not gone for myself, but I had Mark Cavendish there, greatest of all time sprinter. No matter on what occasion, 10 out of 10 times, you back Cav. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But coming into that finish, I asked Cav what he wanted. We went through it a couple of days before, delivered what he wanted. And I think he was just nervous, followed Sagan, the wrong wheel, got caught up in a mix, ended up getting second, which, look, it's not on my Palmares, it was on his, but I was there helping him, I was responsible. And I think when I look back, if I'd have maybe gone for myself, I might have been at a podium. But it's one thing I look back on and gone, I could have been riding my bike now, maybe, if I'd have got that podium spot, because podium at the Worlds changes quite a lot. But yeah, that was a special day. And I think it was I'm not going to say a game-changing day, but a day where someone with a small engine can produce a good result. I knew at the start of 2019, so I was still a professional, I'd say 3 months in, I knew that was it. It was my last year. So I already started planning on what was my next move, working with companies, working with different people. I'd already done a bit of commentating while I was riding, so that was my main focus. I started working with Genesis bikes, started commentating on Eurosport more, and it was good. It was a relief more than anything that I didn't have to go out on my bike and ride on the end of my saddle, look down at my computer, think, oh God, I've got 3 hours to do today, oh, I've got 4 hours to do. And at that point in time, when I did stop, I didn't enjoy riding my bike that much, I have to be honest. I enjoyed the freedom of it, and I enjoyed getting on my bike, and I enjoyed being with friends, but on my own, I hated it. And then obviously COVID was that year, and I just got fat, just didn't enjoy going out on my bike. I still had the love, but I didn't have the passion to ride it as much. Couldn't find the enjoyment in doing it anymore. So yeah, it took a back seat. I still went out on it maybe twice, 3 times a month, family life, spending time with the kids, obviously, which was my main priority. That did take over, and I don't regret that, but I think I just needed to find my love for it again, and that's when LeBlanq came along at a great time. They had a great idea, I was invested in it, and it just brought back to me riding with your friends, but not worrying about doing watts, not worrying about doing efforts, having fun. And that was it for me. It was, whenever I go out on my bike now, I want to go out, enjoy it, not worried about what's ahead, just smash it when I want to smash it, have fun, race a few people, have a chit chat, stop at a cafe or a pub, have a few beers, carry on, ride home. And that's what cycling is to me now. It is the most amount of joy I can get from riding a bike, because it's going out, having fun, it's exercise. It motivated me then to think, I need to do this more. I need to ride my bike more. I need to still stay on my bike because it gives me so much pleasure. And that was easily forgotten before. Where I'm at now, it's good. I've got great kids, I've got a great partner, I do exercise, I'm staying on top of things, and ultimately I'm looking after myself. I have focuses, I've got ambition, and with the commentary work that I do, it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me involved in the bike racing, which I love talking about when it gets technical in the classics, that kind of stuff. That's the stuff I really enjoy delving into. And then we've got LeBlanq, I've got a couple of other things, but it's just for me making what my priorities are my priority. And juggling my time is a lot easier than it used to be, because I get to decide what I want to do. It's difficult in terms of where to be, when to be, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of enjoyment and what I'm getting out of my life, I couldn't ask for more, really. I think, you get sucked into your own bubble, and everyone looks at how good other people's lives look and what's great in your life, what's not great. And everyone's got their ups and downs. But when I really step back and look at myself from the outside, I've got healthy children, my bills are paid, I'm happy. That's wealth in my eyes. It's not about money or that kind of stuff. Money's great, but where I'm at now, I feel wealthy in terms of how I feel in my life. I'm content, I'm happy. And if my life carried on like this for the rest of it, Happy days.
Brilliant.